What's going on, folks? Today I want to kind of go over a couple of the different styles of Redodo batteries that I've used in my camping setup and show you kind of what your options are, because they have a lot of different styles and I honestly wasn't even aware of all of them. So the first big behemoth that I have up here, I used this summer in my truck camping videos. This is a 410 amp hour 12.8 volt battery. I'm not going to slide it around because it is crazy heavy. I always receive the question of how long can my AC unit run off of a battery. Well, to test that, and I'll put the video down in the link below, but to test that I used this battery this summer and it ran my 5000 BTU AC unit from around 5 p.m. until I woke up the next morning around 7 a.m. So it ran it all night long with a little bit to spare in this battery. So if you need a battery to use with an inverter to power an AC unit, you have to go big because those things take around 400 to 500 watts once that compressor is up and running. And this big guy ran my AC in the 100+ degree weather just fine, kept me cool, did its job, worked out perfectly. It is a beast to carry around, I will say that. I think it's around 75 pounds, maybe even a little bit more, but it is an absolute beast of a battery. 250 amp BMS. Now, I don't even have an inverter here in the shop that can get up to that amount of wattage to test out the 250 amps, but if you have a really high powered device that needs a lot of juice, this might be an option for you. Again, 410 amp hours, 250 amp BMS. So this can literally power a lot. It's going to take some really thick copper cables if you're going to be maximizing that 250 amps. And I honestly wouldn't even recommend that because those cables are going to get hot and they're going to be expensive. But if you need something big that's going to get the job done, this guy will do it. Okay, now I want to show you folks something really cool. It's a battery. I don't know how cool it can be, but this is a Group 24 battery box. So a lot of your smaller RVs that you go buy come with a little 75 amp hour AGM or lead acid battery with the RV, and it's just a little tiny battery. And especially being lead acid, you're only going to get half of those amps anyway. But this is the battery box that most of those smaller RVs come with. Again, Group 24. Well, what Redodo has done that I haven't seen anyone else yet come out with one, I'm sure there will be, they have created this battery that is a direct drop-in replacement for your lead acid battery, Group 24 battery. So this is a 100 amp hour LiPo 4 battery, guys, that you're actually going to get the full 100 amp hours out of it. So I did do a capacity test on this thing and I got 106 amp hours pulled out of it. So you will get a little bit over 100 amps, and with this being LiPo 4 in an RV or whatever scenario you're going to be using it in, unlike a lead acid battery where you can only really safely use half of those amp hours, you're going to get at least 100 amp hours. And the cool thing about this battery is, again, is that it is a direct drop-in replacement for these little Group 24 battery boxes. Now, just let me kind of show you, this is what I consider to be kind of a standard 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And you can hopefully see the size difference if I get that in the right angle. So it is much less wide, and it's just a hair shorter than what, again, I call a standard style battery box for these 100 amp hours. So you can hopefully kind of gauge the size difference here. So let me get this out of the way. But what I think is just really cool is that these fit in these Group 24 battery boxes perfectly. They were made for these battery boxes. And this is just a cheap Camco battery box that I picked up for like 16 bucks. And what I'm going to do with this battery is keep it topped off, keep it charged up. I'm going to stick it in the back of my truck bed now that I kind of have that hard shell tonneau cover. And when I go pick up my RV, if for whatever reason my battery's dead, I'm always going to have this in my truck bed that I can use in a pinch to, push out the slide, get the tongue jack up, whatever that I need DC power for. But I just like that they drop in directly to the Group 24. What I used to carry, I'm a Redodo fan, guys. What I used to carry is this 100 amp hour mini. So this is another style of battery that they have that they call the mini. So again, this is your 100 amp hours worth of batteries in it, along with a 100 amp BMS. So you're going to get around 12 to 1300 watts safely pulled out of this. But it's still pretty small, but it's a completely different size factor than this new Redodo Group 24 size battery. So the Group 24 is quite a bit wider than the Mini. It's still shorter, but it is the same width as the Mini. Basically dead on. So this probably would fit in this box, but you got a lot of wiggle room in the box, so it doesn't fit as well as this Group 24 battery. So I don't know. I had a lot of questions on my camping video this summer regarding the battery, and I didn't really go over it that well or that much. But I use this battery. I did do a capacity test on this thing when I got home, and running it at a pretty low wattage, around 120 watts, I got 401 amp hours. So if I would have did the capacity test with around 2 or 3 or even 400 watts, I probably would have gotten to 410 amp hours or a little bit more. But this thing ran for almost a day and a half off of those 120 watts when I was doing the discharge test. So I'm not surprised that I only got 401 amp hours out of it, but that's kind of what I use for my AC setup. And again, I'm going to be using this in my truck now to use as a backup, which is what I used to use this guy for. So, you know, there's a lot of battery manufacturers out there. Redodo's just one of them. But in my personal experience, I've had good luck with them. I am not an affiliate of Redodo, and I say this on a lot of my videos. I don't get paid by them a single penny if you go buy these. I'm just giving you my real life experiences with these batteries, and they've all worked really well. I have not torn them apart. I didn't break them down. Will Prowse probably will do that for you folks if you want to see what's in them. But I actually use these batteries, and I don't want to damage them. So that's why I don't do teardown videos. But I just thought that this new style Group 24 battery was really, really pretty cool. So you can use these standard battery boxes that sit on the front of a tongue jack on an RV or wherever else you keep a Group 24 size standard acid battery. So folks, I'm gonna get this back in the box. This is going in my truck and we're gonna be good to go. So until next time, folks, see you soon. Thanks for watching.